What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Ryan Fork. Today we're doing the review of Vultures by Kanye West and Ty Dolla $ign. So finally, we finally get the album. Just something special. I think this is just what we've been waiting for from Kanye, and I think even though it kind of has its low points, I do think this record is strong overall and really shows how in his bag Kanye is. And I just want to get into it before I spill anything. A couple of things about this album. Kanye is doing a lot more freestyling. Didn't really expect a lot from Ty Dolla $ign, and at the end of the record I was kind of right. He kind of doesn't really add a lot except just to add that little smoothness and sheen. Kanye over here is doing a lot more freestyling. His rapping isn't as potent as it was of his best performances. I don't think there are any top 100 Kanye performances on this album. Keeps coming in with his creative and ingenious ideas which kind of hold the album together. And of course, as usual, one of my most disappointing things about this album is Kanye's come back again with the no girls allowed policy stamped on this record. For all the people Kanye inspired, boys and girls, I thought he'd at least be mindful of that there are women rappers that are just die for a chance to get him on his track. And throughout his whole discography, he has kind of added women into his albums, even though it was a more conservative approach. At least he was actually thinking of them. But I think on Vultures, it's completely no women outside of the samples. It's just guys throughout, and I'm kind of a bit disappointed. But yeah, those are just minor things. Kanye is doing a lot of soul searching on this album, just trying to find his place in the world after his big public divorce. And for a guy who's already married, he talks a lot about Kim, his past wife, and I think he kind of, anytime he actually gets intimate about things relating to relationships and marriage, he's more likely talking about his past marriage. I don't hear the muse that he kind of presents on most of his social media. He doesn't even name drop her once throughout this album, and it's not really a detriment to the album, but just something that I just found interesting and just wanted to talk about. Without further ado, let's get into the favorite tracks. We have a little bit more of the favorite tracks here than usual. We have Carnival, which I think is the most insane anthemic beat ever. It will literally just stay in your head for the whole day. This thing everyone's going insane here is just literally manic energy everywhere you look, every time you listen to the song, and this track is definitely a highlight. Then we have Back to Me, which I thought it was this nostalgic, spacey track, but yet grounded by these dusty drums that keep it on the ground and reachable, and it's just so ethereal. You just feel like you're floating in space when you listen to this song. Then we have Talking, featuring Northwest, Kanye West's daughter, and I think this track is just really adorable. I love the manic energy. Clearly Northwest is probably gonna be the one to inherit the Kanye West mantle here. I love the passionate ode to family ties and fatherhood throughout the song, and I think it's just amazing. I think it's a great track. Then we have Do It, which is classic Ty Dolla $ign, and I love how Ty Dolla $ign is kind of pulling Kanye West into his world, while Kanye West still retains his forward-thinking production too, and it kind of just mixed. It's just an excellent track. Then we have Keys to My Life. I love the improvisational quality of it. I love how beautifully crafted it is. I love the outro. It's so goated. I think it's just so amazing. Then we have The Good Don't Die, which has this beautifully mixed and ethereal little sample that goes throughout the song and acts as the hook and chorus, mashed by Kanye and Ty, who just brood over fear and death, and I think it's just an amazing track. Really beautiful. Then we have Stars, which is just a top 30 Kanye song, to be honest. I think this song is so beautiful. Ye and Ty take time to relish the ethereal atmosphere with the drums pulling between cushiony and pillowy and anthemic and hard. Really amazing work from the two. I think this is just beautiful, and it's so this song just had me by the moment I heard. Then we have Problematic, which the greatest instrumentals I've heard in a while right now. The little offbeat sample that's at the end of each beat loop. I love how it like kind of encourages the listener to be its own pocket finder, just to figure out if they're in the right pocket or not. Then we have Paperwork, which has this creative, wacky Brazilian dance beat. Solid track, really forward thinking, really gorgeous. I thought really gorgeous and grimy too, and I really love it. It's a great track. Then we have HOODRAT, which I thought was gonna be the grimiest, dirtiest track over here, but it's actually the most clean, beautiful, and it kind of like throws back to Graduation Kanye. It's so Graduation-esque, if that means anything. Then we have Burn, and all I can say about this song is that the range of music on this album is just insane. It's just so forward thinking. It's just so like, I can't even begin to explain like the ground that's covered on this album. Then we have the closing track, King, which I thought was an amazing closer. It's so self-affirming. And Kanye takes his seat at the throne and puts on his crown to this rough, dusty reggae beat and a deadpan delivery. And it's just a nice see you later at the end of the album. Really just like really brings it to a beautiful close. One thing about this song like exposes what this album is, and it's out to be a Kanye West album. I think at the end of the day we just have another Kanye album. I don't know why he kind of like, and it's kind of like a trend between like big artists. When they sign like artists that are a little bit below them, they end up just like stealing the entire show, making it all about them, and it just kind of doesn't turn out as well as a collab album. But as an album, I think it just really works well, so it doesn't really matter. They'll get to the tracks that I was iffy about. These are tracks that I might have found bad or at least not sure of. So let's just get into it. I think Paid, I love how unconstructed it is. It kind of just rings out as like Beyonce Renaissance dance scrap material. I don't think Kanye West and Ty Dolla $ign do really good on the dance trend that's been going around these days, dance fever. I have Beg Forgiveness, which it kind of hurts me to my core to say this is one of my iffy tracks. Like Chris Brown sounds excellent on this song. He sounds like the best he's ever sounded in years. Kanye West kind of drags it on a bit, and then it's so directionless to the point of oblivion, to the point where I don't even understand like what it's supposed to be. It's kind of like just like a lot piled onto a lot, and it just doesn't come out well. Beat switch is out of nowhere and makes literally no sense. Everything sounds good, but a little structure was needed for this song to actually realize its full potential, which it had a lot of. It had so much potential, and it kind of disappointed me at the end. Then we have Vultures. I'm still not crazy about that song. I don't think it's as good as anything on this album, which kind of sucks since it's kind of like the title track, and I think the title track always has to be great. Then we have Fuck Summon with Playboi Carti, and to be honest, this is kind of like Kanye West's attempt at Playboi Carti, just like what Travis Scott did at Fiend. It's kind of like his attempt at a rage track, and it doesn't really come out as well. The production is still good, but a bit lackluster to me. I think it doesn't carry the energy as well as it thinks it does, and it just kind of like dies down and just falls into the background after a while. But yeah, getting to the conclusion of this album, Kanye West teaches another generation to not be afraid to search for greatness in the most unorthodox of places. And I think that's just the overall lesson of Vultures here, because it kind of doesn't have a theme, to be honest. It's just like Kanye and Ty just having fun, just making creative, forward-thinking music. I think even at its low points, this album kind of boasts like tracks that you will never find anywhere in music, anywhere in any genre. And if this is volume 1, I just can't imagine what volume 2 would be. Let me just plug this in. I'll rate this album an 8.5 out of 10. I'll give it the acclaim. I think this album is just really worth listening to. So yeah, please check out The Vultures by Kanye West and Ty Dolla $ign. This album is excellent. This album is amazing. And this is just what I needed from Kanye right now. And yeah, I enjoyed it. Peace.